So welcome to another Fertility Coach Sophie live session. Today we are diving into charts and understanding your chart. I get a lot of questions asking about ovulation. How do I confirm it? How do I know if it's working? And I'm not 100% sure where you guys are starting, what you know. So we're going to dive right to the beginning and come on through. As always, feel free to drop comments into the chat and I will answer them as we go. So let's start with LH testing. So one of the questions I get all the time is, when should I start testing my LH? Why is it important to test LH? Well, LH, or luteinizing hormone, is the hormone that is released right before you ovulate. It's actually the hormone that is released to make you ovulate. So with LH strips, what we're monitoring is that hormone's gradual progression. And once we see peak, we ovulate 24 to 36 hours later. So let me show you some charts. Technology is my friend. Yay. All right, perfect. So here are some charts from tracking LH. And we want to track your LH multiple times a day. So this client of mine started cycle day 7. So you want to end the day you stop bleeding or by cycle day 7. From there, we can see the first time she took it at 7:43 in the evening. What we know is that your LH hormone starts to rise in the afternoon. So unlike pregnancy testing, which you do with first morning urine, LH, or your pregnancy hormone, rises in the evening. Your kidneys take some time to process it out, and that's why we start to see it rise in the evening. So at 7:43, she took her first test. And as we can see, it's a very faint line. Actually, let me use my pointer. There we go. It is a very faint line. The next day, she took it a little bit earlier, and we can see it's starting to get a tad bit darker. And as we go, the line starts to get darker. Now, cycle day 11, she takes it around 1:30. Cycle day 12, she takes it around 12 p.m. Cycle day 12, she doubles up. And so this is what I say. As the line starts to get darker, you want to start testing more often. So you're going to test again in a little bit late morning. So a little bit late morning. So like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., a little bit late morning. I think I'm going to quote that. So as the kidneys have had time to process the LH, and later in the afternoon and the evening. Now, some people will have a very quick LH rise, so we need to start testing multiple times a day so we don't miss it. As you can see with this particular client, it was light and it went lighter, about the same, and then it got darker. What I want you to see and note is that the lighting in the picture is slightly different for each of them. She took it at the same location, but different times of the day. So the window may have been open, the sun may have been shining, the sun may have been away, it may have been cloudy. That is why we don't look at these numbers. We do not use the numbers, but we use the naked eye and the camera to see the line actually progressing. So we can see with this particular sequence, we'll call it a sequence, that this client peaked around cycle day 12, because as of cycle day 13, she was already starting to come back down. The line was getting lighter. I would have suggested that she test one more time, and possibly in the morning on cycle day 13, just to confirm. But remember, we actually ovulate 24 to 36 hours after peak. So this is letting us know that on March 5th, she had a peak. So we know that the egg is dropping within 24 to 36 hours. So nailing your peak, while it gives us information, it doesn't have to be an exact science, if that makes sense. Now, if we look at this person who again is using Easy Home strips, they started testing, well, this picture is only from cycle day 10, but they started testing again on cycle day 7. And they did one test on the 10th, and it was really light. But then when they tested on the 11th at 11 a.m., it was super dark and they were at peak. And you can see that's someone who has a rapid peak to go from so light to so dark so quickly. Now, there's other things that could be at play where maybe she drank a lot of water or coffee in the morning and her urine was diluted, so it wasn't as strong a peak. But, we want to make sure that we're testing multiple times, even at cycle day 10. And then it started to get a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. And as we can tell, the lighting is different in each photo, so we do not use the numbers. All right, let's keep going. So this is what the pre-mom chart looks like. And this is actually BBT. So BBT is our friend because it helps us to confirm ovulation. The thing I like about the pre-mom chart is we can get all of the data right on the one place, and we can see multiple months. So this is giving us the dates, but we really want to follow cycle day. So when I talk to you and I ask, what cycle day are you on? I'm not talking about bleeding days. I am talking about your first day of bleeding until the end of your cycle. Again, after she stopped bleeding, we started tracking LH. This particular client did start a little bit later. I would really like you to start by cycle day 7 because, as you can see here, she had a really rapid LH peak, and we might have missed it. But we have BBT, and with BBT, we are able to confirm that she ovulated. So you can see her rapid rise here, and then her temperature rising afterwards. BBT also shows us that BBT can tell you if you're pregnant if you have 19 high temperatures, and it can also tell you if your period is coming if it drops towards the end of your cycle. So BBT can actually give you a lot of information, and there's multiple ways to track your BBT. I personally love a temp drop because you stick it on your arm, it filters it out, it filters out any movement. So I get up to go to the washroom a lot throughout the night. So it helps to kind of average my body temperature out and remove those movements. Whereas I found with a thermometer, taking it at the same time, resting for 10 minutes, doing all the things was making it 10 times harder for me to maintain doing it and entering it into the app. That's me. Some of my clients absolutely love the thermometer. I also suggest that you do the BBT if you are a shift worker or a nurse or you work night shift. It will really help to get the correct body temperature for you. I do know that some people like to use the Oura Ring, but I actually haven't been able to test the Oura Ring against the thermometer and against the temp drop. So I don't know how accurate it is, but I know some people who swear by it. Now this is an Aneto chart, and the thing I like about the Aneto chart is it gives us a little bit more information about our hormones. The thing that we need to remember is that this is hormones, the metabolite of the hormone, not the hormone itself. So it's hormones that you've actually urinated out, right? The leftover that may help you, well, doesn't help you. It gives you information. You cannot use it as what am I looking for? An indicator that you have low progesterone. You can't. You need to do blood work for that. But it can tell us the trend and the rhythm of your hormones so we can see the pattern. What we're seeing here is an estrogen rise Purple is her LH peak. Orange is FSH, and blue is progesterone. Again, what I like about the Anito is it's really using your hormones and what you are releasing after it's been used in your body. Versus with the Premom app, it's just your LH that we're monitoring and then adding BBT on top of it. Now, I get lots of comments and lots of questions about should I get fertility technology or should I just stick with my Premom? I say it depends on the type of person you are. So let me explain. If you are someone who gets obsessed with data, it can make you feel like there's something wrong with your body. If it sends you down a rabbit hole, or you'll be Googling every data point, or you'll feel like there's something wrong because it's not the same as everyone else's in the community, then do not get fertility technology because it will cause more harm to your mental health. However, if you're someone that can look at the data and can see the trend and understand it's a trend and make better decisions moving forward from the data, then an Anito, a Mira, any kind of fertility tracker where we're looking at your hormones is a great tool. I've had many clients who have gotten a fertility tracking tool and then gone into a tailspin because their chart wasn't matching someone else's, or they thought that there was something wrong because their progesterone wasn't rising the way that it's supposed to. It can really mess with your mental health. So depending on the type of person you are, I recommend and don't recommend fertility technology. That's so funny. So here is a more recent Anito chart. And again, we can see the estrogen rising. We can see the LH peak. We can see the FSH, and we can see the progesterone rise. So what I like about this is this particular client was also tracking their BBT. So we've got tons of information on this. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I look at when I see this particular chart. One, we started tracking as soon as we stopped bleeding. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. From there, we can start to see the rhythm of the hormones, which we really like. We like that there is a LH spike, and we can see the estrogen spikes as well as the FSH. Then we can confirm ovulation with the progesterone. Now, we want to confirm it by about day 3 after ovulation, 1 to 3 days after ovulation. So if we know that peak is 24 hours, or is 24 to 36 hours before you ovulate, so 24 to 36 hours, we want to confirm with a progesterone rise within 1 to 3 days. And bang, there it is. And this is just giving me data. So for this particular client, I asked her to actually get blood work done on 7 days DPO so that we could look at what her progesterone number is. Okay, just to get an idea. I see a nice strong LH peak, which makes me happy. I'm looking at her estrogen. Her BBT is doing its thing. And she normally tracks her BBT all the way through, but we stopped at this one particularly because we went and did more blood work. And this is what I'm talking about. By tracking, we have more information. This particular client, we like her to baby dance, or I've asked her to baby dance on cycle day 11 because we know she's peaking on cycle day 13. So why cycle day 11? So your sperm lives inside the uterus for up to 5 days. So we want the sperm to be there when the egg drops. So according to this chart, the egg is going to drop between cycle day 14 and cycle day 15. So cycle day 11 is going to cover us until cycle day 16. I also suggest that she baby dance on cycle day 13 and as well on cycle day 15. So 3 times a cycle, not every single day in your fertility window, but 2 to 3 times a cycle. I have had a client where her husband traveled for work and they would have to time when they could baby dance. And so we were aiming for only twice a cycle, and that got her pregnant. There's a lot of misconception that we have to baby dance all the time. Nope, we just need to make sure the sperm is there when the egg is going to drop and that we have coverage over those days. Perfect. So that is all I came here to share today. Hold on, let me come back to you. Technology is my friend. I love tech and tech loves me. There I am. So that is all I came to share with you today. Really understanding our LH peak, what we look for in charts, and why it is important to keep charting on your journey. Now, I suggest that you chart all the way through your cycle for your first 3 cycles so that we have an understanding of your rhythm and your trend. There are a lot of women out there, especially women who have PCOS, where they can see multiple LH peaks. We want to make sure that we are getting the correct LH peak for your baby dancing, and we confirm that with BBT as well as with progesterone. So if you're using fertility tech, you can confirm with progesterone, and if you're not, we need to be doing BBT. As always, I am here to support you in any way I can. Please drop into the comments below and ask any questions that are coming up for you around this topic. I am sending you so much love and support on this journey. Baby dust for all. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye now.